People that hate Islam or hate Muslims, all of them, somebody who was right-wing, hated Islam, hated Muslims, actually ended up giving him...
There are positions where you can be a bit more harsh, you can be a bit more firm, but...
The person who's screaming and shouting at you, you want to get to the position where...
When we're defending Islam and we're waving our fists, people that hate Islam or hate Muslims, think about this very carefully. All of them are not bad people who have hate in their hearts and are just aggressive with everybody. Some of these people have been brainwashed, programmed by the media, possibly by their friends, by maybe even misguided Muslims, that Islam is evil, that these people are really evil. And they've, unfortunately, naively, they've become convinced of that untruth. And so when they look at Muslims, they automatically have this negative view because of all the baggage that they've managed to sort of accumulate over the years, right? Now, it's our job, inshallah ta'ala, as Muslims, that when we do encounter people like that, we don't automatically assume they're bad people, they're hateful people, so I'm going to be bad, I'm going to be hateful back, I'm going to be aggressive back. But try to do, inshallah ta'ala, what you can do through empathy. Try to find out why do you believe that? Where have you heard this from? What investigation have you done to verify whether that's actually true or not? I think it was Hamza Zoltzis who was chatting. There was somebody from the right-wing, Britain First or whatever. And in the beginning, he was being a little bit perhaps aggressive or sharp, but, harsh. Hamza was just talking to him nicely. At the end, he gave Hamza a hug before he left. He actually went and hugged him. Somebody who was right-wing, hated Islam, hated Muslims, actually ended up giving him a hug. And this is the thing. If we truly live according to the Islam, and we try to live Islam, and we try to show people that, this is Islam, this is the higher ground that Islam elevates the individual to. Once they get a flavor of that, a taste of that, inshallah ta'ala, we will start seeing change. And I'm not saying that we become pushovers, and I'm not saying that we don't. If some of you've seen my recent few videos with Chris or one or two other people, I think I was quite assertive with him, in a sense that I wouldn't let him bulldoze the conversation, right? We have to be firm, but we can do that respectfully. We can do that with the ideals of Islam. And then inshallah ta'ala, just see the other person. If you tackle it in that way, okay, this person's saying hateful things, horrible things, but let me find out, where they got this information from. Let me say, look, if that wasn't true, would you still be upset about with Muslims? Would you still be angry? Would you still hate Islam? Would you still be against the belief of God? If the things that you've quoted me were actually untrue, if they were lies, would you be prepared to have that conversation? Sometimes, if you just have that very honest conversation with people, mashallah, this country, England, where we live, alhamdulillah, I think still has a lot, the majority of people, I think, are still good, but we just need to connect with them, inshallah ta'ala, with empathy and with understanding as to, and what if we hadn't been born in a Muslim family, many of us, and we heard all this negative thing about Islam? How many of us would have found Islam?
I just want everyone, even the people, maybe this advice to the people who use this harsh approach, and first and foremost for myself, that we look at the evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah in context of da'wah, and find evidences where it's clearly ordered to use a soft way and a way with empathy, and that you should respond to the bad thing with good and good words and wisdom, and look for the evidences where you're ordered to be harsh. You will find very little from the second category. And I don't say it's not permissible to be harsh, but if you see all the evidences, even Pharaoh, Musa is going to him and Allah is telling him to say to him soft words. Yeah, subhanallah. Yeah. It really shows that this is the default. Yeah. Being soft, having empathy is the default position. And then, yes, there are positions where you can be a bit more harsh, you can be a bit more firm, but it should never get the norm that by default, it shouldn't not even be balanced, that you're as much as harsh as you're soft. So this is I think this is the problem, because some people, they think, okay, it's allowed on some occasions, and then slowly it gets everywhere, being harsh with everyone, and it gets a style, and it shouldn't evolve to that.
So this is from Surah 41, verse 33. And whose words are better than the one who calls others to God, does good and says, I am truly one of the Muslims? Good and evil cannot be equal. Respond to evil with which is best. Then the one you are in a feud with will become like a close friend.
Subhanallah.
And this is really, so it's amazing that you're the person who's screaming and shouting at you. You want to get to the position where they become your close friend. And I just want, it's really this is the key.
So things are not black and white. And what you might be feel very strongly about may have many nuances and many things that you need to look at to really evaluate things clearly. But when you're young, you don't do that. And what we need to realize, brothers and sisters, is that when we are unnecessarily harsh, when we think we're defending Islam and we're waving our fists and we're being all angry when we're talking about, and we think we love Islam and we're defending Islam, what we're doing often is we're turning people away from Islam, because you're just simply living the stereotype of that angry Muslim who's angry with everybody, angry with anything. Anyone that says anything against Islam, he gets angry immediately and he starts to, wave his fists around. And what we need to realize is that's not Islam, okay? And that's not how the Prophet spoke with people. So please study the religion. And like Brother Arfan said as well, look at the injunctions. Look at what Dr. Imran just said. The Quran doesn't say people who you have disagreement with. The Quran says something that's quite severe in terms of interaction. Not somebody you disagree with, not somebody who is being slightly harsh about Islam to you. The Quran uses a term which is enmity, which is like
enmity.
Right, enmity, like real opponent feeling of distrust and of upset and of anger. Okay, that even that will be changed and overturned if you repel with that which is better. Subhanallah.